Hey everyone, my name is Katie Carmendi and I am the instructional coach at Mooresville High School. So what I'm going to go over in this video is how to support your student during virtual learning. So the first thing that we have is just some keys to success during online learning. And if you want to discuss any of these with your child, there is a virtual copy that you can click here in the presentation for. But these are things that teachers tell our students in class too, as far as how to be successful during online learning. So the first one and a really big one is having a table or desk space that's free of distractions where you attend online class. That means no TV, no video games, no people talking around you, music off, and cell phones put away. The second thing is to get a good night's sleep. So the start time for class is 8:30, but you want to have a bedtime that allows you to get enough rest to be fully alert during class. Complete your assignments the day they are assigned. Oftentimes, teachers will give students time to at least start the assignment in class. So best practice is to just go ahead and finish that the day of. Creating a schedule or time every day to complete schoolwork. And I actually have a little bit more resources that are on our MHS counseling page a little bit further on in the presentation. Keeping track of your assignments, so using the assignment checklist, the weekly checklist that every teacher puts out for their students on the navigation button on the left-hand side. And then there's also a syllabus tab in Canvas or a calendar built right into Canvas that can help you keep track of your work. Take notes every day, copy whatever your teacher puts on the screen, so just coming prepared with paper and a pencil to class. Oftentimes, a lot of teachers will send home note packets or paper packets for the students to write on. Participate in the lessons and know what is going on during class. Make posts or comments if asked. Start logging into your virtual class 3 to 4 minutes before the class actually begins, just to make sure there's no tech issues, and use the given time in class to be productive. So the next thing that I want to go over is a visual of where students can find their virtual classes in their weekly checklist. I touched on the weekly checklist on the slide before. So every student for every class in Canvas has a button that looks like what this first arrow is pointing to, where it says something like virtual classroom or class link. But that's how students attend class. They just click on that button. And then every student also has a weekly checklist button for every class. And I'll show you what the weekly checklists look like in a second. But that weekly checklist is meant to help the students see what they need to do for a particular class. So this is a visual of what that weekly checklist looks like. We do have a slight difference this semester as far as all assignments are not due on Friday. We have 2 due dates. The 2 due dates are Wednesday or Friday. So any assignments that your teacher wants you to complete by Wednesday would be put under this first section, and any assignment that the teacher wants to be due by Friday of that week will be put under this section. But it also gives you information such as your teacher's email address. So if you ever need your teacher email address or your child's teacher email address, you can check the weekly checklist to get that information. It will list the assignment. It will list whether the expectation was for this to be completed during class or independently outside of class. And then where submitted is just to help the students keep track of, where do I have to put this information? Do I have to put it in Canvas, or is it okay to just do it somewhere else? And then the estimated time it takes to complete that assignment. Email is a super important part of our virtual learning experience because it's how we communicate with you, the parents, and the students. So you can find a teacher email on the weekly checklist. I pointed out where that was on their Canvas homepage on the MHS website, or you can go to your student's email and start typing in the teacher name, and it will just pop up by the nature of our school's database. I also want to reiterate to make sure that your email is up to date with the school. So many things are communicated via email, and we want to make sure that you're getting that information, including how teachers reach out to you. We send home bi-weekly interim reports or any other school-related information. If you feel like you're not receiving these emails, or if your email is not correct and up to date, please make sure that you email Angela Martin if you need to update any of that information. And her email is listed in this presentation. It's amartin@mgsd.k12.nc.us. The next thing that I want to point out is that every student has a Canvas calendar. So when they log into Canvas, instead of clicking on courses, they're going to click on calendar on the left-hand side. It's where this arrow is pointing to. And something really nice about the Canvas calendar is that it color codes their classes. So you can see for this particular student's calendar, they have like some blue, green, orange, and a darker color assignment. So those are their 4 different classes, but also when a student actually submits the assignment and turns it into Canvas, you can see here on January 5th and January 6th that the assignment actually gets crossed out, indicating that the student completed it and at least turned it into the teacher. So that's a great resource or way for you to help facilitate or check what your child has completed, but also a good way for the student themselves to keep track of their work. So here are some other ways to support your students virtually. I have the MHS counseling page linked. And so there are some great resources on this counseling page. One that I'm going to for sure point out is that there are some resources here by grade level, some scholarships and career college resources. But if you go to personal, social, and emotional resources, one that I'm going to point out is the organization and time management skills. So there are a bunch more tips for organization and time management. Something that has been super successful for a lot of students is to take that weekly assignment checklist in Canvas and then kind of map out what you're going to do where. So there are some sample calendars and to-do lists that you can make a copy of or use with your child. And then we also have some information about a study technique that has been proven to be successful. So decide on what task you want to do, set a timer for 25 minutes, work on the task until the timer rings, and then you have to take a short 5-minute break before moving on and trying this technique again. So the idea is that there's intentional breaks in between what you're doing. So you're chunking it up into 25-minute time sessions. And then there's some other resources on here, like a digital calming room. So if you feel like anxious or your child is feeling anxious about online learning, there's some resources to kind of like, take a breath, relax, reset before moving on to the next assignment. So those resources and plenty more are all on our MHS counseling page. And that is all the information that we have about how to support your student during virtual learning. We hope you found this information helpful.